Amelia, what's up?
Hi, Dr. D. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you so much for calling. What's up?
So, when I was 18, I just left home.
Okay.
And I just walked out.
How come? Why'd you leave?
Unhealthy and toxic environment and controlling. And so
Before you leave,
I was just done.
Before you leave, what does that mean? Was it abusive, or were people just giving you mean curfews or strict curfews? What does that mean? Toxic and controlling.
Like, I would say verbally, like, you don't deserve this, verbal put downs, a lot of, like, mean comments based on the mood of one of my parents. So, and that's been 5 years from now, almost 5 years. So I'm wondering how I should reach out to my family, and also if I should reach out to my mom and how to help her.
So have you had any contact with them in 5 years?
Especially over the summer, I started contacting some of my siblings and talking about their experiences. Had a little bit of contact with my dad, but haven't seen or talked to my mom.
So I don't really understand what you're asking me. Are you asking, how do you call and reconnect with your mom? How do you get back in touch with your whole family? What do you drill down for me? What are you asking?
How do I know when it's safe or healthy and to, like, restart that relationship?
Does your mom have mental illness? Is she well?
I think she does have some sort of mental illness.
Okay.
I don't know what, and it's probably undiagnosed and untreated.
Okay. You know it's safe when you have boundaries that you firmly established and people don't cross them. And so that's how you know you're safe. When you say, I only tolerate people in my life who talk to me respectfully and who don't put me down, and they may tell me things I don't want to hear. That's just called accountability. That's called friends who actually love you. That's called parents and family members who actually love you. But they don't put me down. They don't beat me up. They don't talk to me disrespectfully. They're honorable people to be around. And that's how you know. My heart rate doesn't get up when I think of talking to them. I don't lose sleep knowing I have a phone call with them tomorrow, or that I've got a coffee date with them tomorrow. I don't always look forward to it, but I don't get, right, my body's alarm systems don't go off. When you talk to your dad, does it still freak you out, or have you reconnected and it's wonderful to hear his voice again?
Yeah, it was super awesome to talk to him, and it was great.
So I feel like I'm missing something here. Why don't you just go home and see your mom? Why don't you call her and say, I'm going to be home on Friday, and let's go to lunch?
She's pretty mean.
Okay. Then why don't you just not call her?
I guess I did that for the past 5 years. But I just want to help her, I guess. Even though it's hard to have contact with her.
What do you want to help her with?
She's all alone, sort of. She's burned a lot of relationships, even with her, like, brothers and sisters, my aunt and uncle. She's burned a lot of relationships, and I think she really needs a lot of help.
So, Amelia, this is going to suck, but I'm just going to be honest with you, okay? You can't fix your mom. You can't fix her. You can love her, and you can be in a relationship with her. But if she let her 18-year-old daughter walk out the door and hasn't tried to reach out and connect with you. And if she burned up her marriage and her brothers and sisters, there's not a lot you can do.
Yeah.
You can go in there with some firm boundaries and know my mom's going to be angry and she's going to be mean and she's got her own story from when she was a kid and she just needs someone to sit with her and love her. And that's going to be noble, like holy work for you to go do that. But I want you to be real careful about building a fantasy. You're not going to get back those last 5 years.
Yeah. And even growing up, it wasn't a good relationship. I knew she was sort of mentally ill and was always quite angry. Is it okay to never talk to her again, I guess?
Yeah, if that's what it takes to keep you safe, yeah, it is. I'm a big fan of never giving up on somebody. And so if I was in your shoes, I would send a letter with the number where they could reach me. I would probably always make sure that a few times a year I sent something in writing to let them know I loved them and I hope they were doing well. And I'm also going to be about the business of making sure that I'm safe and I'm not in an abusive relationship and that my kids are safe and my spouse is safe and those kind of things. But yeah, when somebody, for whatever reason, and it sounds, my guess is your mom went through some really hard crap when she was a kid and she got stuck in some loop-de-loops and has never been able to come out. Has never chosen to come out, never done the hard work to break some of those old cycles. And sometimes when you get in those cycles, you treat people a way that you wish you hadn't of. Instead of saying, I'm sorry, and leaning into fixing that, it just compounds that and makes that shame and depression cycle spin faster and faster, and you find yourself all alone. And if you're struggling with mental illness, sometimes that stuff accelerates it or is a result of it. And so, yeah, if you're not safe, stay away. It's not your job to go back and repair something that somebody else broke.
Yeah.
What's your dad say?
Sorry.
No, you're okay.
He's good. He still lives with my mom. They don't talk much, I think.
Does he think you should call your mom?
He agrees that she's kind of a toxic person, so I don't think he thinks it's wrong for me to not call her.
Can I lean into something real quick, Amelia? You keep saying kinda and a little bit and it's just sort of mean. You're using real minimizing language. Does your mom hurt you? Does she tell you that you're a loser, you're not a good daughter, and you're never grateful for any of the stuff that she gave you, and you're a jerk, and she wished you had never been born? Does she say stuff like that to you? Or does she say things like, man, you whine a lot. You're a grouch. Like, what does she say? You're using really evasive, minimizing language.
Like in high school, I probably very obviously needed to go through counseling, and the school provided that, and she'd say things like, oh, you're screwed up in the head, you don't deserve to have friends, you don't deserve to go outside. It's pretty mean stuff.
Hey, Amelia, moms aren't supposed to say that to their kids.
Yeah, I know.
And that's not your fault.
But I left.
Amelia, that's not your fault. You're not hearing me. That's not your fault. Kids are supposed to have friends, and they are supposed to go outside, and they're supposed to be hugged and loved. I'm sorry you didn't get that.
Thank you.
And so, yeah, if your mom's not well, if she's not healthy, and she's going to hurt you again, it's probably not smart or safe for you to head back in there unless you've got some real strong boundaries and you've probably got some training. You probably got a counselor that's working with you, but you're not going to fix your mom. That's her work to do. And you're probably, maybe, it always works this way in the movies, but not a lot in real life. You're probably not going to get an apology from her.
Yeah.
And hey,
it's a lot of the...
Amelia, you deserve one, but you're probably not going to get it. And so grieving that loss, putting that down, that fantasy down, that myth down that my mom's going to circle back around and be the mom like my friends had, it's probably not going to happen. And I hate that for you. Do your brothers and sisters still keep up with her?
I have one sister that probably hasn't talked to her since 7 or 8 years.
Okay.
And a younger sister that'll call and touch base.
Yeah, Amelia, there's just a family pattern here. It's time to let it go. It's time to let her go. And if your dad's a good man and he's standing by her and trying to be the best husband he can be for sickness and in health, then good for him, and keep connected to him and keep connected to your sisters. But yeah, you got to put that one down. And you can still love her. You can love the idea of her, but you're not going to get that one back. And you're not going to fix that one. And I'm sorry to tell you that. I know it's heartbreaking. I cannot recommend enough that you get somebody, whether it's a minister or a friend that you can be vulnerable with, or a group there in your community, or a counselor, someone you could walk alongside for a short time just to help process and grieve this properly. And then, yeah, set it down. And that's so hard. You set down your freaking mom. She set you down, man. And she obviously had some stuff in her heart that just made her bitter against the world. And who knows what her story is. And I bet it's traumatic and hard too. But that's not for you to fix or solve. So I'm sorry that she hurt you. I wish I had better news for you, Amelia. But yeah, you got to put that one down. Thank you so much for trusting me with that call and for being vulnerable. Ugh, that was a hard one.